goodness. I'm so happy that you're here together. Thank you for coming on the show and talking about this. When did this begin? When did you guys know each other? When did you meet?
Brandy wrote me a letter. I was in Las Vegas in residency at Caesars. Oh, yeah. And I already knew of her first album, so I knew who she was. But she wrote me a letter and explained that she'd been a fan of mine ever since she was a kid. And I was the reason she wanted to make music, and Bernie's lyrics were the reason she wanted to write lyrics. So she wrote me this letter. She said, would you ever consider playing on one of my tracks? And I phoned her and I said, yeah, of course. I'm in Las Vegas. If you can come to Las Vegas. I saw her play on it, and I think I sang on it as well. And the minute she arrived in the studio, I fell in love with her, and I fell in love with her talent, her voice. But more than that, I fell in love with the person. Yeah. And we've become firm friends. We're like family, and we've known each other now for over, how long is it now?
It's coming up on like 20 years, something
20
like that.
years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And what made you write the letter to Elton?
Well, it's like he said, I mean, him and Bernie, like, they're the reason I ever touched an instrument or wrote a song.
Really?
Yeah, I was so inspired by them from the time I was 11 years old. And I always thought if I ever get to a place where I could get a letter to Elton John, maybe he'll read it and we'll be friends, you know?
And it really happened?
It really did happen,
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
And do you respond to all these letters that people write you?
Well,
I mean, I've written you letters.
I didn't fancy you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I didn't hear back at all.
No. When someone as talented as Brandy writes you a letter and they're new and you want to, you know, I already knew who you were. It was a no-brainer. I love cooperating with new people and new artists and new talent.
You always support new artists.
I like it, and it was a serendipity moment because, as I said, we've been friends since. And since I've known her, I've always wanted to record with her. Or make an album. We did one track on the lockdown session together, but I wanted to make an album, and it was planned after I did Glastonbury in '23, which was wonderful. It was one of my near the end of my tour. We
crushed it. You crushed it. That was so good.
Yeah, we crashed it. We absolutely blew it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did. It was amazing.
We went into the studio in Los Angeles in October of that year with nothing. Bernie Taupin, me, Brandy, Andrew Watt, the producer.
Oh, Andrew Watt, yeah, it's fantastic.
So 4 of us went in the studio with nothing.
No pre-planned music.
No.
Nothing written.
No, that was requirement of Elton's.
Have you ever done? Is that how you write and record? No.
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Not in the old days, but recently. But I've never gone in with 3 other people on a project like this where we were all equal, and so. Towards the beginning of the sessions were very testy because I was very tired, I was exhausted, I was so plagued with doubt and nerves and worry about how it should... I knew how it wanted to sound, but you can't plan that. So it was very anxious and very, you know, there was a lot of tension in the first 3 or 4 days of the album.
Doubt in yourself? Or
yeah,
doubt?
self-doubt without question.
From Elton John? I mean, you're Elton John.
But if you're a creative artist and you don't have doubt before you do a new project, then you're not a creative artist. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be so great for her because I just wanted it to sound so great for her and for me. But as I say, the first track of the album is called "The Rose of Laura Nyro."
Oh, I love that song.
It all suddenly took place. It just took shape. It was like a runaway train, and
it's a great
20
song.
days later we had the album finished and 4 extra songs. Not bad.
Did you ever meet Laura Nyro?
No, unfortunately not.
No.
She was my idol. I loved her.
Really?
Yeah.
I think she would have loved him, too.
Of course.
Yeah.
I know Laura Nyro. What is her, the song I'm trying
Eli's Coming?
Eli's Coming is great. It's on this. What's the other one, though? Can you sorry?
No.
Can you picnic? Stone Soul Picnic.
Stone Soul Picnic.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
But I love this jam. This is almost like, it sounds like you, but it sounds like kind of Pink Floyd. It sounds like you have a little Karen Carpenter vibe to this one. It sounds like ABBA. It's a lot in this fun song. The first song is just an epic song.
Yeah.
And it picks up. It's fantastic. So you have that song, and then you go, all right, let's write 10 more.
Yeah.
Basically, it was like that, which I was really nervous about. I had all this self-doubt too. It really manifests itself differently in me than it does Elton. I felt very quiet and internal in those first few days, but it didn't take long before I realized it was working. But it was like existential doubt because, like, what if, like, my hero can't write songs with me? What does that say about what I've done with my life, you know. And it was.
And
that
you
was a
did
lot.
it.
Yeah.
Basically, I was a nightmare.
No one would ever say that
The
about
first
you.
3 or 4 days, it's all on film. We filmed the whole thing, the
Yeah.
whole process of songs being written, recorded.
Yeah, you are kind of a
lyrics
nightmare.
being torn up.
Yes, you recorded the whole thing. It's coming out
Yeah.
on Saturday on YouTube, by the way.
Yeah.
The whole process. And yeah.
It just turned out exactly the way I wanted it. It sounded fresh. It's the best album I made since the early 70s, I think, as far as energy goes. Yeah, I wanted energy into it. I didn't want to do an Elton John album that sounded like another Elton John album. And with her voice and her talent and her songs, there's one song on the album she wrote about her daughter, which is the last track on side 1. Tell her about it.
Oh, it's You Without Me. If any parents out there will know, there's this moment in your life with your child where the first time they express themselves in such a way that's just unexpected, and they sort of depart you and they go their own way. Maybe it's subtle, maybe it's something really simple, or maybe it's a huge thing like they leave or start to believe something you don't believe. And you get this feeling of like you're devastated, but you're so proud at the same time, and that confusing feeling is what that song is about. Wow. Called You Without Me.
The album is called Who Believes in Angels. It is out tomorrow. I'm so happy and honored that you're here. Congratulations. Elton John, Brandi Carlile, everybody. Who Believes in Angels is out tomorrow. Catch them on Saturday Night Live this weekend with host Jack Black. We'll be right back with Haley Steinfeld. Stick around, everybody.